Hello and welcome to another short tutorial on Photoshop Basics. Today we'll be working with layers. I just created a new document 500 by 500 pixels with a white background layer. So let's get started. So create a new layer, going into layer, new layer, click OK, and Photoshop has created a new layer. Let's grab the selection tool, make a quick selection, hold shift so it makes a perfect square. Uh, Pick any color you like here, let's say red, go to edit, fill, and press OK. And now our red square is in our layer. Double click to rename the layer, let's name it red square. Go into layer, new layer, and make a new layer again. Hold shift when making the selection. Pick another color, let's say blue this time. Go to edit, fill, and press OK. So now we have two layers. Let's just quickly rename this one to blue square, each on its own layer. So if we grab the move tool and with our blue square layer selected, we can move it on top of the red square. If we reverse the order here in the layers window, and let's say we want to put the red square on top, see now the red square is covering the blue square layer, and that's basically how Photoshop works. The layers that are on the very top are the highest, and layers that are on the very bottom are on the lower parts. So that's the main logic behind it. We also have a few shortcuts here on the bottom of the window. So this one obviously just deletes the layer. This one also creates a new layer. See, it created a new layer. Let's just delete it for now. This one creates a group. See, group 1, and then we can also rename the group. Let's call it squares. Click on this one, hold Control, and click on this one, and then just drag them into the group. And now both of these squares are children of the squares group, and we can also turn the visibility off of the whole group, and it also makes the layers inside of that group invisible. Let's try making some circles now. There is also a nifty shortcut when it comes to creating new layers. So you can hold down Ctrl Shift Alt and hit N, and it creates a new layer. So this dramatically speeds up your workflow long term wise, so you don't always have to go layer new or always be clicking here. You can just use your shortcuts on the keyboard. So right click here and grab the elliptical marquee tool. Drag and hold shift when dragging. Let's make this one let's say green. Go to edit, fill, and we have a green circle. So hit the group icon, name this one circles, rename this one, double click again, green circle, and drag it into the circles group. So now we have two groups. One is called squares and one is called circles, and the circles group is on top of the squares group. So if we grab the move tool and move the whole group on top, you can see that it is stacked on top of the squares group, and we can also reverse the order here. So that's the main principle behind it. But let's say we want to create two copies of this circle, but we don't always want to be making new selections, making new layers and so on. So obviously there's an option for that as well. You can either go to layer, duplicate layer, or you can just hold Control and hit J, and this creates an exact copy of the layer that you had selected. So make sure your move tool is selected and move it somewhere else, and then we can go to layer, style, color overlay, and this brings up a pop-up with many options which we'll be covering in later tutorials, but for now let's leave it red. Rename the layer red square, hit Ctrl J again to make another duplicate of the layer, move it up, and then once we have a layer style, see here for the red square we applied a color overlay to our layer, and now we see this FX icon here. If we double click that icon, it brings up the layer style pop-up, and then we can just change the color. Let's make this one, I don't know, maybe pink. Pink is the new hot color right here. And rename this one pink square. So now we have three circles with the exact same dimensions, but different colors that we created just by duplicating this green circle layer. So I hope you enjoyed this small tutorial, and see you guys next time. Bye.